What is up? My name is Artan and today I'm gonna talk about some Overwatch League. Stage 1, otherwise known as May Melee, ended over a week ago and we've seen some major games, some upsets, and anime-like storyline of Fuel winning it as underdogs. Of course, with so many great things, there were also some great disappointments. So today I'm gonna talk about, in my opinion, 4 players that disappointed me during May Melee. Before jumping right into the list, I'm going to lay out some ground rules. Rule number 1. This is purely subjective. These are only my opinions and you're welcome to disagree with them. I truly believe that these 4 players could bounce back and perform as well as everyone expected them to. Rule number 2. Only 1 player per team. Otherwise this list would be filled with New York players. And finally, Rule 3. Players on this list must have played at least 5 maps. There were some players that played poorly but only showed up for a map or 2. Those players have a small enough sample size and I just cannot rate them properly. With rules out of the way, let's get to the list. First on my list is My Lee. Guangzhou Charge wasn't considered a top tier team by many and they have good reasons for it. APAC region is tough, the team itself lost some major players like Shu and Happy, and most of the new players on the roster were unproven bench players from other teams or rookies. Meanwhile, I had high hopes for Mike Lee. I enjoyed watching his Ashe play during the Nexus Cup. Sadly, this rookie so far underperformed, because oh boy, he does not play well. He is bottom 3 in eliminations and final blows per 10 minutes out of all DPS players in the league, while having the most deaths of them all. After week 1, Charge even tried putting Eileen on hitscan, because Mike Lee underperformed. Of course, he's a rookie. He could be under pressure playing against so many high caliber players while knowing the importance of every win in the league. Or maybe I just got too hyped and as always, Screambox meant nothing. Next on the list is Shax. After his pretty solid performance last year on LA Valiant, I expected similar results on Spitfire. Although he wasn't the best DPS player in the league or even on Valiant, he was still a pretty good tracer, managing to be the best tracer in terms of final blows per 10 minutes in the entire league, while being top 5 in terms of eliminations and solo kills. Safe to say, he is far from his past self. He is a rotational player in Spitfire, subbed in when the team needed a tracer specialist, but his tracer is not pleasing to watch. Out of all tracers, he's currently dead last in terms of solo eliminations and bottom 3 in total eliminations. The dude played so poorly that KSF, his former teammate in Valiant, outplayed him in Tracer 1v1s. Hopefully we can see an improvement in his Tracer, otherwise we might not see him in upcoming seasons. Third on the list is Ivy. What happened to you? You looked so great on Fusion. This season on Excelsior, you're playing way worse than how you did on Philly or even on Defiant back in Season 2. Is this some sort of course, where players that played in Philly get worse in New York? It happened with Hotwa last year and now you? Well anyways, during May Melee qualifiers, Ivy mostly played May and Echo, with occasional Tracer, Symmetra and Sombra on some maps. Personally, I did not enjoy watching his May. Last year, it was probably his best hero, setting well-placed walls. Although he still managed to do that, he barely managed to follow up with anything. As for his Echo, it's fine, I guess, but sadly just being fine is not good enough, since he rarely won fights against enemy Echoes or Pharas. In every major category, his averages dropped by minor amounts, except for the only category where you want your numbers to drop, which are deaths. Last year, he, like everyone else in Fusion, had the lowest number of deaths, but the number jumped way higher this season, to the point he's 20th in most deaths per 10 minutes in the entire league, the worst score on NYXL this year. At least his Tracer was better than Flores or Feathers. Yay, I guess. Final player on this list will be a controversial one. If you clicked on this video based on a thumbnail, you can already know who it is. It is the Lucio God FT God. Although I considered placing Nero on this list, after thinking further, FT God had a bigger hype value behind it. Don't get me wrong, He still performed really well during May melee, but he really needs to shift his playstyle. Rated Lucio actions are entertaining to watch, but you also need to play better than Diamond rank Lucio in ladder. I would say that his plays were too aggressive for Shock. Wacky Lucio plays worked smoothly last year in Paris, because he had backing of his teammates, which also preferred aggressive plays, as we can see now on Dallas Fuel. Last season, his Lucio was top 3 in every major category, and while he's still top 3 at healing and damage dealt, his other stats dropped below other Lucio player averages. On the bright side, he tends to survive more, dying slightly less than his league average last year. His Mercy and Brig are still nothing to write home about. I do believe that he can still get on the same frequency as his new teammates, but so far, they are riding on completely different wavelengths. So there you have it, reminding you that this is my opinion and you can freely correct me in the comments. I would love to hear various counter-arguments and lists of players that you consider disappointing so far. As for now, take care and remember to stay hydrated. Peace!